Stormy Daniels.
Who I didn't know and never heard of until all this stuff came out.
Yeah, me neither.
No,
I had never heard of her either. And I'm going to say this too. If you know the names of porn actresses, keep that to yourself. Never let anybody know that ever. It is appropriate to know the name of Jenna Jameson, who is, I would say, legitimately real world famous too. However, if you know the names of porn or you know a lot about porn, you should not tell anybody.
But Jenna Jameson was so in this cultural moment, right, in the naughty oddies, there was that big kind of like, people were saying, oh, adult film stars can now be like regular movie stars. Yeah. And a lot of people were trying to make that leap, basically. And Jenna Jameson was like the one that was able to. Partly, I think, because our culture kind of at large was very trashy during this time. Very trashy. I got to tell you, this was also mid-2000s, as I believe, when they made the scientific discovery of MILFs as well. I think that's when they cracked that at Stanford. So anyways, Stormy Daniels is there. She's a booth girl. You know, she's like handing out bags, I'm sure, of DVDs and stuff like that. She's there. There's a bunch of porn people there kind of like also handing their shit out. And I got to tell you, if you're a porn person, this is probably a pretty good networking event, right? The kind of celebrities that would show up to a celebrity golf tournament in Tahoe, you know, you might make some connections there, do all right for yourself. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Well, Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump, they make eye contact, Jane Austen style. Okay. What? Is that, sorry, does that sound something they do in Jane Austen books? No, I'm sure. I don't know if it's a Jane Austen trope, but I like it. They make it, well, that's how Donald Trump described it. They make a Jane Austen eye contact event. And all of a sudden, guess who's in his little, golf cart next to him? Stormy Daniels. They're hitting it off, right? Yeah. And Donald Trump asks her, why don't you join me for dinner? Actually, you know what? I can't do the Trump voice either, so let me do a different voice. Hello, love. Why don't you join me for dinner tonight? All right, I'm going to do regular voice for the rest of it. I'll do regular voice. I feel like I should do a voice for him, but he says, baby, come to dinner tonight. Big opportunity for her, right? She goes to his boudoir, his suite at Harrah's, and she's expecting to go out to dinner with him, because that's usually what people mean by that. But she opens the door, and he is sitting there in pajama pants, which is a crazy image. Do you think they were like silk? No, Cookie Monster. No, I think they were like silk paisley. You think? Which in 2006, out of style. However, 2023, very much in style. You think so? A wide leg paisley silk pajama pant? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm so sorry. I'm fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I always fuck this up. Yeah, but I would imagine, I really, really do wish she had described, I'm sure she has at some point. She's given a lot of interviews. But I wish he had described what he was wearing up top. I'm assuming shirtless. And I'm assuming just that massive, tight wad of flesh that composes his chest and stomach. Was he super fat back then? I think he's always kind of, I don't know. No, that came a little later. I'm trying to remember. So his appearance on Sex and the City, that would be season 3. He was on Sex and the City? Yeah. It was just an appearance. There was just in one episode. Interesting. But Mr. Big was based on Trump as a, character. Cute thing a lot of girls have done is they kind of say, I remind them of Sex and the City. They call me Mr. Small. They say you're like the 5th character. You're like, you would be Mr. Small on that. That's terrible. Yeah, that's my height. I don't think he was that fat back then. Anyway, I'm imagining him as fat. He wasn't in his melted goo state that he is now. Little advice for the fellas out there. You don't want a woman to see you in pajamas until she's living with you. All right? I'm happy it was pajama pants and not boxer shorts. Yeah, that's true. I don't want to know what kind of underwear he wears, but he was wearing it later that night. Okay. So she's like, put on a fucking suit. He's like, listen, we're going to have dinner here. All right? I don't want to go out. And they talk for a while. They he asked her about the adult film industry. She asked him about his industry. I think she that she's trying to obviously sees this man with a lot of, I guess that we call now clout. And she's clout sharking a little bit, which, one cannot blame her for in her position, right? He's a host of Celebrity Apprentice. Remember, he's a reality TV star at this time, too. Yeah. It's not just like Trump, the businessman. It's like Trump, the TV character. So he's also trying to get her to call up this other porn actress and get her up to the room to hang out. But the other chick is like, nah, I'm not doing it. Eventually, she goes to the bathroom, and when she emerges, he is lying on the bed. I'm assuming. Naked?
I don't think he's fully naked, but I think he's in his undie. I think he's in his undie. And that's a hard image to kind of get in your head, right?
Yeah.
But
I
is it
don't
there?
wanna think about that. No, I'm not. It's out. It's gone.
Well, imagine the flesh jiggles if you
All
jumped
right,
on the
stop
bed
it.
next
Let's
to
keep
him.
it going.
Okay, so to describe this, can you read this for me? This is from her 2011 In Touch interview. That was not, of course, published until years later. But this is what she describes the sex.
Ew. It was textbook generic. It wasn't like, oh my God, I love you. It wasn't like Fabio or anything.
Such a good reference.
By the way, my friend had the best Halloween costume. Did I ever show you where she was Fabio with the roller coaster accident, and then she had dressed up her dog as the pigeon that hit Fabio. It was so good. So her nose was all bloody, but anyway. He wasn't like Fabio or anything. He wasn't trying to have like porn sex. I guess the implication is that that's what Fabio does. Then In Touch is like, did you say anything to you during? And then Stormy says, nothing freaky. Like, oh yeah, that feels good. That's amazing. You know, it was one position. What would you expect someone his age to do? It wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. So anyway, the sex was nothing crazy. He wasn't like chain me to the bed or anything. It was one position. I can definitely just, ew.
I'll say this. I can definitely describe his junk perfectly.
If I ever have to. He definitely seemed smitten after that. He was like, I want to see you again. When can I see you again? So I want to say, just right off the bat, I think the only thing he just like puts his head between her boobies.
Yeah, I got to tell you.
I don't think Trump has sex.
He
just goes like,